friends. Welcome back to another episode of Welcome Home. This has been such an incredible series so far, and it's literally, we're just getting started. Today, I have the honor of having Tobias on the air with me, and this is one of the episodes I have been literally waiting, like looking at the calendar. Is it time yet? Is it time yet? Tobias is such a cool guy with just his energy. When you're next to him in a room, you just can't help but just pay attention. He's super sweet, super giving, super just high vibe, totally our kind of person. And I'm really excited to have you on. Welcome home. Thank you so much, Tobias.
Thank you for having me, Brandy. And I can just
Of course.
echo right back to just being in the same room with you, talking to you. It's your energy and vibe is contagious, and it was one of those things I just loved really seeing you just mingle, talk, doing your thing, spreading your message. It's just so powerful. I just couldn't help to be drawn in wanting to talk to you, understand what you're doing, what makes you tick, and it's one of these really powerful ways where the world in a way has a lot of wrong with it today, but it also has a lot of right with it. And you
Mm,
are definitely one of those right things. And the vibe and connecting with more like-minded people today, because I I really see that there's so much positive things going on
yeah,
that is so powerful, especially now with the internet, social media, and podcasting like we're doing right now, so that we can kind of unleash ourselves in a way in terms of like pursuing our goals and dreams and really like have the inner longing of I want to achieve something, and it's entirely doable to actually get started in doing that.
that's true. That's 100% true. Which leads me to how we actually met. So we met in
Yes.
Austin during the legendary Mastermind, which we're both a part of. It's legendary, if you're not familiar, is a educational program that teaches people how to really, in my opinion, it's how to go for your dreams and live your best life in a nutshell. More realistic, I guess, is they teach you how to get the skills needed to start your own online business or um, to basically do more in the world and get paid well for doing it, right? And so meeting you at Austin was such a kismet moment because I've been on this path myself of using what I've learned in personal development, learning just over the years of in spirituality, all of that, and how to put it together into a brand and to see someone like you who's doing that. And I love your Instagram, for example. We'll get into that later too, but I love the messages that you're putting together. I love how you're just packaging it up, and it's so on point and it's so authentic. I feel like we come
Thank you.
across a lot, definitely, we come across a lot of people who are coaches, who are mindset, who do this and do that. But it's like, do they really buy this stuff? But from you, it feels like you really are preaching what you're living. And I felt
Yes.
that from the moment we met. And so, yeah, so hands down to you for that, which is kind of why you're here, because I definitely want to get into that. I love finally having someone I can like chat back and forth with about all of this stuff.
Well, that's amazing, and thank you.
Of
I'm
course.
kind of to the point where I'm still getting used to just like yourself and other people, which also happened to me during the mastermind, because I went there looking to learn and maybe picking up like a mentor or like someone to kind of lift me up. And little did I know, I was not prepared mentally. Like I had no idea that coming there, people would come up to me and just, "Hi, Tobias, I got to talk to you. I've been watching you on TikTok, and I just got to talk to you." It's like, and then just they coming up and they share how they are also stuck, and how I am
Yeah.
inspiring them, and they want to pick my brain, and I'm like, on one hand, little old me, but in that moment. I was able to observe those kind of limiting beliefs and just, I'm just gonna let that go and just like, and then I'm just going to be in the moment and I'm just going to flow and whatever happens happens.
Yeah.
And I was actually able to have conversations, share my perspectives, and help a few people overcome their own limiting beliefs and current blockers. And that's when it
That's so
truly connected
powerful.
to me that I can help people achieve what I achieved, and that's basically overcoming being stuck.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a good segue to just kind of launch into more my background because I've been for over 2 years. I struggled. I knew what I wanted to do. I had the skills to do it and a path, but for any reason under the sun, I just couldn't do it.
Mm.
And during that process, I was actually able to observe this phenomena, if you will, which is incredibly frustrated to realize that there's this invisible thing between me and where I want to go, and it's keeping me stuck. And every day is the same. And it weren't until the point at the end, because I knew I kind of working on, I want to create an online business. I want more time, money, leverage using
Mhm.
technology to leverage time, right? Work smart, not hard. And so I knew that, and I'm an IT professional, so it's like I have all the skill set. I took the courses. I have the understanding and the direction and the goal I want to do, but yet I was stuck. And it wasn't until around the 2 year mark somewhere where I sat in my car, was going to pick up my girlfriend from work, and this is in mid 2024. And coming into 2024, I was gonna make it the year where I'm gonna just push through the business, really focus on it. I kind of cleared. I'm not going to do my hobby, this. I cleared my schedule. I'm going to focus. I'm going to get this thing off the ground. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting somewhere around almost hitting end of May somewhere. And I'm like, just hits me. Poof. Almost half the year's gone by and I haven't even started.
Mm.
2024 was
Yes.
going to be my year. Like, what the bleep happened?
Yeah.
And in that moment, something from my subconscious just bubbled up. And I kind of was forced to have kind of a brutal, honest moment with myself where it's just like, dude, come on. You like the thought of saying that you don't need help and you know this all and you can do this, but come on, be honest. You really can't. And I had to
Right.
kind of be honest with that and accept that and that hurt, right?
Yeah.
And just around the corner then there, Legendary launched a accountability program. And it was the quickest decision I ever made once I understood what it was. Because for me, it's like give up on the dream. Like be honest, you don't want it bad enough. You love the dream, but you don't really want it bad enough, or you need help. And I didn't just want to get like networking with people and help and you scratch my back, I scratch yours, this type of reciprocity because I realized I am up against something mind wise which I cannot. There's something here I need to be able to just in a way pay for help from the
Hmm.
experts who's already where I'm at so that I can focus only on learning and executing and only on me and not feel that I need to do more for someone else, to give back or whatever. So it's like me, my goals, coaching, and so on, so I can focus on that pipe. And I went through that, and throughout this, it was a 6 months accountability program. Eventually, I figured out what I was stuck on, and I was stuck on. I wasn't showing up for myself, and that was sitting in my blind spot. I'm actually going to say that one more time. I was not showing up for myself, my goals, and my dreams. And I didn't even realize that that is where I was stuck.
So the whole time before this, were you doing anything? Were you doing any actual action or just more like in your head and just thinking about it like, oh, that sounds good. I should do that. I could do that. Is that the
Hmm.
space
Yeah,
you were in?
it was more like a start and stop, and then nothing, and then start and stop, dabble,
Okay.
and not being consistent in it.
Okay.
It was any reason under the sun why I stopped, and then I just didn't pick it up.
Gotcha.
And we can get into that a little bit because my biggest procrastination excuse was, I have so much time, I will do it tomorrow. Tomorrow comes, and you know what? It happens again. I will do it tomorrow. I got
Right.
this. And then funny enough, the next slide that comes flying by from the procrastinations on being comfortable in the comfort zone.
Yeah.
Oh, well, now I don't have time, or I don't have energy, or I need to escapism, doom scrolling, PC computer gaming. I've been into my whole life, and tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Time
Yes.
just passed by, and that is incredibly expensive because time is the one commodity that is 1000% equal for everyone. Doesn't matter if you're
Yep.
like a low income earner, homeless, a middle high class, a billionaire. We all
Beyonce.
have the same time. Yeah, exactly. And I'm not
So
saying that to
true.
put people down, but more to open up and realize that we can't hold on to it. We can't borrow more time. So for me, when I finally understood, for me, what kept me back was the excuse of tomorrow. I realized that I need to operate differently. I
Mm.
can't think about what I will do tomorrow. Because for me, I mean, yesterday already happened, so I can't beat myself up over yesterday. That's kind of, I mean, we do it from time to time, but that's kind of like waste of energy and time and everything. Learn
Exactly. It's
from it,
done. Right.
exactly, but move on. And I can't do tomorrow because I already know that's never going to happen because I'll do that tomorrow and then I'll just keep the same excuse going. So for me, what I had to do was whenever I heard I will do it tomorrow or kind of feel the same kind of like procrastination vibes coming out, which at this point I knew very well, I needed to start executing, of taking action towards my goals and dreams and tasks today. And the one thing that's even better than today is now.
Mm.
So, and I even do this today when I feel like my old demons and ghosts, if you will, when these thoughts come back and I'm being a bit comfortable, lazy, or like do it tomorrow. For me, those are like alarm signals that woo going off in my head, and I realize that you know what I mean. Unless I'm driving or like I have to like work or whatever, I have to just know I need to do something right now. Doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be perfect, but do something to progress towards a task, goals, or dream, even if it's also even not related to goals and dreams. Just do something to get out of that mindset.
I love that.
And
I love that. And I have a ton of questions. And I'm gonna pause
sure.
you for a minute before we get too deep into this because I've got alarm bells going off right now that are like, okay, but what about everything happens in its perfect time?
Mhm.
So if I don't do it right now, then it just wasn't meant to happen right now. It's not the perfect time. Is that just something that we tell ourselves, and that's another form of escapism or a an excuse? Or is there a
Uh,
time and place for that as well?
so excellent question,
Hmm.
excellent perspective, and and I think it can be a bit of both. I think what's coming up to me as you share this is it sounds convenient, but I will let you in on my secret about my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your mind knows when you're bullshitting yourself.
Yeah. So true. So
So
true.
if you have like, ah, well, we have to have when the stars align, things will happen, and then you will have a feeling that that's a little bit safe and convenient. Yeah, then maybe you're procrastinating about something or being deep in the comfort zone because then you don't have to. You're
Yeah.
getting off the hook.
Yes.
But it can also be the other side of that coin, which is risk and danger signals,
Hmm.
where should I really push this now? Yeah, might burn my hand on the stove, or perhaps I need to think about this. Then maybe that's true.
Yeah.
And what's cool about the mind, it's normal, especially when you start to listen a little bit on the mind and your thoughts, you will know. And in the beginning, let's say if you are because I'm 42 now, so I've kind of been observing my mind for a while.
Hmm.
If you're a young teenager just starting out, maybe you don't have that experience and kind of self-knowledge yet, then what am I going to do? And that can stand you into indecision.
Right.
Try, but be conscious of kind of where you're going and what's happening. Because how you get better at making, because basically that's a decision point, right?
Right.
How do you
So
get
true.
better at taking decisions? Well, you take decisions and then you find a way to live with the outcome. One
Right.
of the scariest thing in my mid 20s was when I realized that I was calling, I can't remember, it was some major decision I couldn't quite remember, and I was calling my brother and my mother and my dad, and eventually realized, but they can't make this decision for me. I'm the only one who have all the details. So I had to, like, you know what, I'm just gonna stop calling and make a decision here. Super scary, but I haven't looked back since.
I love that. That's so powerful. I feel like whenever we start getting into the time factor, I think I think we all can relate to that because, like you said, that's one thing that's what relevant to all of us. And you can make goals, you can have ideas, but if you're not taking action on them in some form or fashion, how do you ever expect to actually get from here to here? So
Exactly.
I would love to know, okay, is it, you mentioned earlier, it's about doing something, right? So
Hmm.
for you, is it as long as I get this one thing done a day, like that's your non-negotiable? Or do you have a system now where it's like, okay, you feel complete, dare I say, at the end of your day, if you have accomplished A, B, and C?
Hmm. Really powerful questions, Brandy, and it's this is multi-nuanced depending on
Mm,
the situation. So let's get into it.
yeah,
So I'm going to start with the biggest one I think that you mentioned, and yeah, we might need to kind of jump back and in order to the other ones. But
yeah.
how do we get successful weeks? That feeling of I had a good week, and I'm going
Or
to give
even
a
a
practical
day
example.
sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah, they exactly. Yes. So when I
Mm,
started creating content, I went through it. I did a recording and I published it, and then I didn't get the views, and I didn't get the engagement, and I didn't get this and that and this and that, and that happened for day one, and then the same thing for day two and day three and the week and the next week, and it was bumming me out.
mm,
And then I had the good fortune of realizing and kind of catching that, wait, this is silly. The only thing that will happen if I don't change how I think about this is it's going to be a negative downward spiral. I'm going to get utterly bummed out and I'm going to quit.
yes.
But I also realized that there are so many other people doing it successfully, social media marketing and these type of things, being on, having a company or some goals, going online and making their dreams come through. So they didn't just pop up one day and yahoo, I'm an expert and I'm successful. No, they went through probably the same things that I went through. So I realized that probably I need to shift my thinking here. And I realized that the reason why I was getting bummed out was that I was attributing and kind of measuring success on things that was outside of my control.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
So what I started doing was I didn't care about the views or the results or other people interacting with my things. I mean, if that
Yeah.
happens, nice, that's a bonus, and that's kind of the end goal of why we're doing this. But I started measuring success as, did I post my video today? Did I
Mm,
try something new? Did I get a little bit better? Did I stay consistent? And I started formulating for me what a successful day looked like. And I did that for every day for the week. And then I had a successful week. And that felt good. And now we're into a positive upward spiral.
right.
And how do we get started? How did I get started? I didn't get started with, I'm going to do 2 videos a day and I'm going to do this and the production, this and like all of the great videos we see online. They didn't start there. So for me, what I started was I was focusing on especially since I had the tomorrow challenge and the also people pleasing and other things eating up my time. I realized that, and we can dive into that later. But for where I was, I started on taking what's the smallest, most imperfect action I can take a tiny step forward towards my goals and dreams, to achieve that task, to progress. And can I learn a little bit more, try something new, get a tiny bit better today than I was yesterday? Then that's a success for me. And that also made it really simple to start being consistent, of doing it every day.
Hmm.
Because of course it's hard to be consistent or be disciplined. Let's use the big D word, discipline,
Yeah.
scary, hard. Of course it's going to be that if you're stacking that with this huge action that, you know what, I'm going to make 2 videos a day, they're going to make 1,000 plus. I mean, of course that's going to be hard.
Yeah.
But can you do a very small imperfect video and post it? And that's the check mark for success in this, talking about social media videos and so on. It can be, let's take another example of the same principle, losing weight. Perhaps you're not at the stage where you can go to the gym or go out or run or whatever the activity is, but can you try to just eat a little bit cleaner and better than you did yesterday? And then of course, yeah, but what should I eat?
Yeah.
Well, you probably already know what you shouldn't eat. So just try
The
not to do
opposite.
that.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And if that's just one meal or one time, the smallest thing that you can actually do, make it so very small that you cannot not do the action. Meaning make it so small that you absolutely positively, I can do that. That's where I started. And then I did it the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And like I said before, that feels good. And when something feels good, you want to keep doing it.
Right.
And then little by little, day by day, week by week, and month by month, I started to do bigger things. Because one thing that is not talked about enough, which I talk about it a lot, is that progress is still progress, no matter how small. And if you can do that consistently, eventually you will achieve that task, you will achieve that goal, and ultimately you will achieve that dream.
I love that.
Progress, however small, is still progress. When compounded by consistency, adds up to large achievements over time.
Which is so true. I mean, if you do one, well, it was saying it's like if you just do something 1% more each day,
Yeah,
exponentially, it adds up, it compounds to massive change.
absolutely.
So true. I love
Absolutely.
that. I'm quoting you on that one. Progress is progress.
Feel free. Feel free.
So what I'm hearing from you um actually something that I firmly believe in, where it's like you have to get to a point mindset wise where the only way to really start making those moves is for you to create evidence within yourself, which starts by keeping promises to yourself. So
Yes,
like with the diet, deciding, okay, I'm going to have one healthy meal today. One of my meals today will be healthy, right? You do that, you keep that promise to yourself. You recognize you feel a little better the next day. Oh, wow, that made a huge difference. And then you do it again, and then you do it again. You keep creating this evidence for yourself that these additions, these changes are positive, and that makes you want to do it again and then go bigger each time. Because if it felt good and at this small level, imagine if I did this or this, right? And then it just
exactly. And
compounds.
yes, and another thing that happens is when you take this small and you take this kind of gradual growth approach is that you get used to that kind of base consistency so that next time it gets a
Yes.
little bit easier and a little bit easier and a little bit easier. And another good segue of doing this is, yeah, but let's say life is incredibly hard right now. That's where I was started. We can dive into that a bit more, but I went through a loss, and it was, yeah, it was devastating. But I still had my goals and dreams about I want to start a business. And all I could do, I mean, obviously, I self-care, kind of focusing on dealing with it, but the only time an action that I could do then was 2 minutes when my head hit the pillow at night, completely exhausted. I can keep the dream alive, and that's how I stay consistent today. I will keep the dream alive. That's what I can do. Day out, day, and then eventually got a little bit better. I was able to get back on my feet, and then what got me started wasn't I'm gonna create and post videos to get a lot of views. No, it's like what's the smallest, most imperfect action I can take today to get a little bit closer, and I
Yeah.
did that, and then I did that, and eventually one, two, three, four, five, got up to the point where now I can start posting videos again, and it could be the same for anyone else, and what I now know as I've gone through this period of hardship and grew there and went through that is that of course now time is better, so it's easier, but I also know that if life happens again or XYZ reason shit happens,
Right.
I know that I will be able to find a way to navigate that and still progress, rather than if I'm going to form all these habits and disciplines when everything is good and great and fantastic, easy, perfect, and
Which is
then
never
and
the
then
case.
then life happens, right? I mean, that's got
Right.
to be a challenge. So in a way, I'm very grateful that I was able to do that and learn when the times are hard.
Right.
And that's again coming back into mindset and lowering the bar so incredibly much that I think I can do that and start there.
I'm so glad you said that because I've actually had this conversation recently with a group of friends who, and we all consider ourselves very high achieving, very type A. We expect a lot from ourselves. And so the idea of like, okay, what's the smallest thing you can do today? Like when our coaches would say that to us, we'd be like, well, that's not gonna happen. Like, no, like that it almost seemed like an insult because we knew we were capable of more. And so like to think of what's the smallest thing I can do today to move the needle, even though that might have been the healthiest thing to do to start with, like you're saying, that makes total sense. But in your case, with your clients, and they feel that way, where it's like the idea of like, what's the smallest thing I can do? Even that seems there's resistance to that
Yes.
because they still want to do more, even though they're not accomplishing even the smallest thing. How would you coach someone through that?
So that's a great question, and my truth, and when I talk about truth, it's my truth because there can be many perceptions out there,
Yeah,
and what I can really give, and what I think anyone can really give, is perspective, thoughts, ideas. But I can show you the path, but only you can walk it.
yeah,
So at the end of the day, you would need, and let's say I'm just standing to doing nothingness. You would need to find something, a little bit, the smallest, tiniest bit of spark inside of you, and find a way to take a small step today, and that's enough. And then do that tomorrow, and so on and so on. Because if for whatever reason, and now we're talking more psychology, right? There
mhm,
might be deeper problems, because I'm not educated, I'm not a therapist or any like that. Probably if you're truly unable to take that small step, you might need professional help, and there I cannot help.
mm, that's fair.
Yeah, because it's also one thing I thought about, because there's like, who can I help
Yeah.
versus who I should not try because I'm not sure if I'm doing good. I might be doing harm. So where do you draw the line, right? So I would just say that find something within yourself, and it doesn't mean forget. I mean, at that stage, forget about like goals and dreams or like the big things. What can you do is start and coming back into success.
Right.
I went up and went out of my bed.
I love that. I love
Cool. Checkbox it. Like how small do you have to make it so that I can think about, I can do that. Or
right.
as it was in my case, I want to do something. I want to do something, but today I couldn't, but I do want to. Keep the thought and the dream alive.
I love that.
So that's probably how I've been approaching that one. And if at that level, they're unable to, then yeah, I cannot help you. You probably
Right.
need professional help, and yeah, that's the only thing I can do, really.
In the questionnaire I sent over, one of the things I really loved about you was that you said you tell people what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. And I feel like in one of those moments, it's their ego that's coming through. And what
Yes,
you're going to do is basically be that mirror for them and be like, look, you're not even doing this, right? You have to start here. This is what you need. This is where it starts.
yes, and that is the core truth of it, and it's yeah, because it's to take another analogy, like you can lead the horse to water, but you cannot make it drink. It's the same case. Obviously, I'm not calling people horses, right? But
Same concept.
yeah, exactly right. So it's more like what perspective, what idea, where are they? Because depending, I've people pleasing, procrastination. Like I've been there, I walked their shoes, so I can listen through a little bit, like where are they? Where does that kind of what they need to start? And I've actually have 8 go-to mindset exercises that I do continuously that is helping me a lot to just when the days are tough, because I have tough days, I have hard days. I don't feel like it today. All right, but you get I now I'm a person who gets stuff done. So what can I do, right? And
Yeah.
there could be multiple scenarios and reasons why. So to give an example, especially for type A personalities, go-getters, right? I,
Mm-hmm.
I, I want to do this and that and that and this, and then it was the dishes, and then it was that, and oh, I have so much things. And when I do it over here, I feel guilty for not doing over there. Oh, this is just,
Yes.
I will go and I will watch TV now because this is too much.
Yep, pretty much.
What I do is I take a sheet of paper. You can do it on the computer too, but and kind of make it work. But for me, I do it with the sheet of paper. I draw a line vertically, half the page. On the left side, maybe over here in your camera, on the left hand side, I just brain dump everything I need to do, top to bottom, just getting out of my mind. Serves a really great purpose. Gets it out of your mind, so your mind doesn't have to remember all that stuff. It's
Right.
great.
Love that.
You probably missed it, but you're actually doing something. So you're getting into a little bit of forward motions, starting small, right?
Right.
And then get it all down there. And then the next step, you read through the list, find the easiest one to complete. Oh, is it the one that takes the least amount of time? Whatever you perceived as the easiest one to complete. And that's probably gonna like, oh, it's this one. It's probably gonna pop up. And then take that and then move it up. You just kind of copy it up to the right side at the top. And then if you have a green checkbox marker, just check it off and then with the pen cross it over from the left side.
Okay.
That feels good.
You're
That
checking
feels
things off
good.
your list.
Exactly. And then you can almost fold it over to only have it, because now you have one side, you only have one item. The only thing you focus on doing is progressing towards getting that done in the easiest way possible. That's it.
Mhm.
If that's the only thing that you get done today,
Yeah.
woo!
Celebrate it.
Because doing something beats doing nothing.
Yes.
And guess what? When you got started and maybe even finished it, because again, if it's, depending on where you are and the circumstances, maybe progressing towards completing it is the only thing that you could muster up that thing. Cool. I did something. Nice. And then eventually you complete it. Well, guess what? Green checkbox, cross it over, feels good. And what do? Go back to the left-hand side, which is the next easiest one. And then you do it same, and then you do it all over again. And then you can keep doing that until you got all of the things off of your list.
I love that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try that. So let's get into your systems, your programs. So you
Yes.
mentioned the 8 essential mindset tools and the
Yes.
DER method. So let's go ahead and dive into that and tell us more about those two things.
Yes. So the DR method, it's I'm actually launching this now
Good
on
timing.
your podcast. Yes.
Woo!
I've been hustling, I've been busy, I've been building it out, and it's still a rough around the edges, but imperfect action beat perfect action any days of the week, unless perfect is whatever you do, right?
Right.
But more often than not, perfectionism is just, yeah, procrastinations or comfort zone or fears playing out, right? Because as long
Mhm.
as I'm perfecting it, I don't have to put it out there, and then I don't have to risk people not liking it.
You're
So
right.
I'm launching, so they can actually go at dermethod.com. That's Delta Echo Romeo method.com, dermethod.com. And what the heck is it? So it
Yeah.
stands for drop, evolve, and repeat.
I like. Okay.
So it's what I was able to do during those 2 years. I was able to see the DR method there, and it's actually 6 modules, kind of just going through everything, and I just kind of give you the big picture of it.
Mhm.
So D is for drop, right? Because we have something we want to achieve out there, a goal, a dream, a task, something. And oh, but I don't have time, or this or that, right? So drop is all about identifying what's either keeping you from spending the time doing the things to get towards your task, goal, and dream, or actively working against it. So that if it's only one thing you can do is to at least not shoot yourself in the foot and backtrack, we'll stop doing that, right?
Right.
With the example of weight loss, we'll stop eating crap. If that's if that's the only thing you can do, do that. Or doom scrolling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any time to work on my goal or go to the gym or do this. We'll stop doom scrolling. Stop binge watching TV.
Yeah.
So drop is all about working and helping you identify where your time sinks are. That is either actively working against you achieving your goals or dreams, or just being kind of a blocker in the way. So it can
Nice.
be time sinks, it can be energy sinks, and other things. So yeah, it will run you through a few exercises, and you will identify those. With me so far?
Yeah, definitely. This is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
So then the focus is, all right, how do you stop doing those things? How do I stop doing those things? Don't do it. It's stealing your dreams, stealing
That's too
your
easy.
time to right. Easier said than done, but
Yes.
that's the focus. And then E as in involve is, now that we have done that, let's say, not doom scrolling, we freed up time and energy. Evolve is, what should I start doing
Mm,
to get closer towards achieving my task, goals, and dreams? Do I need to learn a new skill set? Do I need to try something new? Or maybe I've been doing something a little bit that I should keep doing and keep doing that.
right
And then you
on.
do that. And eventually we're coming to the repeat stage, which is, these are the activity, habits, or disciplines, or the things that I know that when I do these things, I get closer towards achieving my task, goals, and dreams. And if there's anything I can do during a daily basis, or weekly, like whatever the time interval you can do it at, as long as I do these things, I get closer towards achieving my task, goals, and dreams. Then that is the gold, diamond, cream at the top, the over the eye. That's what we're trying to get after. because if I can shove anything, I don't care whatever happens during work or life or whatever, as long as I can do these activities, I know that eventually I will complete my task goals and dreams. That's the repeat stage. What should I repeatedly continue to do to achieve my task goals and dreams?
I love this. So is this packaged up in a um like a course, or are you working
Yes.
one-on-one? Okay.
So it's a 6 module course.
Okay.
I'm giving it away for free.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah, and because there's also similar videos going through kind of similar to what I shared right now, but it's also
Yeah.
worksheets so that you can work through too because it's more involved, let's say. But that's the core of it.
Okay.
So that's I'm giving away for free. And then because I don't, there's so much gatekeeping going on already in this world, and I don't want people to stay frustrated and stay stuck and kind of going through experiencing the same level of frustration that I did for over 2 years.
Right.
So if what I've learned, what I've observed, if I can kind of package that in a way where people who are in a similar position wanting to go do something, achieve something, but they are stuck, and I can help them get unstuck, that's something I really want to do. But I also know that sometimes information is not enough, because information without executing, acting on it, doing something with it is a little bit, yeah, sure, it's possible, but it's a little bit wasteful, right? So
Right.
sometimes we need this kind of little bit more like, yeah, accountability, just like I did. So if I feel it's a good match, I'm also offering on the side accountability coaching.
Nice. That's perfect. Because my next question for you was, okay, a lot of people sign up for these courses. They get really excited, right? Initially, they may even
Yes,
actually take the steps to start the program, but they lose that momentum, before they even reach halfway. And now they've consumed information, but they haven't still taken that action, which is what your course is about. Stop
yes,
procrastinating, take the action. So what is that piece that's going to support them in keeping moving forward, which would
yes.
be
So
the accountability.
exactly. So then because yeah, I read it, and then how do we apply it? So what I
Yeah.
also threw in there as a bonus, it's a free 30-minute fast track implementation coaching call where we get on a call. I listen to you for free, no strings attached, trying to understand what you want to achieve, where you're going, where you're stuck, kind of try to pinpoint like, aha, here's where you're stuck. And then
Yeah.
we can map that to the DAR method and the 8 essential mindset tool exercises, which I'm continue to use. It's like my go-to methods of overcoming being stuck, right? And so that you don't have to worry, like, where should I start? What about this? What about that? No, it's like, start here, try this, so that you don't have to think about how to start. All you got to do is, okay, start there, and then you can focus on the real hard part, which is actually doing it.
Yeah. So you're giving them the roadmap essentially.
Yes,
I love that. I love that. Okay, so the eight tools you mentioned, that's what you're learning in the modules. That's a part of the course.
that's part of the bonus. You
Oh, the
unlock that
bonus.
when you
Okay.
get on the call, and the reason why I stack that is I want to get to know my course takers better.
Hmm.
I want to be able to help them not get lost in information, and shorten the information. Like, okay, so I have this amount of information. This is where you're stuck right now. Focus on that, and then implement this with this tool, and off you go. Start there, and then you can continue consuming it, because of course it's convenient to buy things. In this case, you're getting it for free, so you don't actually have to buy it, but
Sure.
consuming it, actually doing something with it, and I was also stuck with that in the past, buying courses, not taking them. So it's like, I don't want that here. And then if I feel it's a good match and it's needed after that
Mhm.
call, I can also offer coaching. That's one's not free, but then I have a 90-day package coaching for accountability coaching, and so on. So I have something on site, and yeah, that's how I'm growing my business.
That's perfect. And with the accountability portion of it, is that sort of mirrored after what you did with Legendary that really supported you?
It's a mix.
Okay.
I'm more I'm more interested in. I mean, yeah, there's the format to it, of course, but I'm more
Mhm.
interested in what you need to do and how I can help you actually do things than kind of pushing you or kind of prodding you into a fixed box because everyone is unique.
True.
Most likely, you are somewhere in the box of the DER method, drop, evolve, repeat. Okay, cool. Now I know I need to stop doing that and start doing that. But then you're stuck. That's where the
Mm.
essential mindset tool exercise that comes in, which is a bonus unlock after they get on that first fast track implementation call with me. Then I unlock them. Because otherwise, and the reason kind of why I put it this way is to get to know them better so I can help them get started rather than trying to figure it out themselves.
This is so great. This is so different than other, like I would say entry level coaching programs a person can enter. I mean, right off the gate, you're offering so much more support and just guidance. So for something like this, is this strictly geared for someone who's like an entrepreneur, an online business owner, or or if the person does want to lose weight, is it for
Mhm.
whatever you want to work on, whatever your goal is?
So the DER method and the tools is, let's say, market agnostic. So it's not like this will only work if you're online business or entrepreneur, this or
Mhm.
that. They are principles in a way. Don't get scared off with the principle perspectives in these things.
Yeah.
It's it's a way to think about it. And then you know you are the expert of what you want to do and where you're stuck. And then it's a matter of where that is, how you apply these overcoming things, and maybe I have to come up with something new when I understand the situation better because I'm only me.
Yeah, of course.
But I want to do that. I want to grow and I want to expand because I really want to help people get unstuck. So it doesn't really matter what niche you're in and so on. And of course, I'm still getting experience and feel and kind of feeling out the market, kind of like where I can help the most. Because like we talked about earlier in the call, there's also cases where I should not help, where yeah, professional help is needed.
Mm-hmm.
But so on, it seems to be the easiest one to start with is yeah, the online business entrepreneurs in general. That would be, let's say, the lowest threshold, easiest for me to start because they're already in the way kind of go-getters or wanting to do something and might just need structure and a path to walk.
So
So
true.
that's where I'm starting, but it's not excluding anything else at this point.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, all of this will definitely be in the show notes below, so the audience has a chance to check it out and then connect with you and learn more and sign up, preferably as well, so that we could all get unstuck and start moving forward toward our vision for what we want for our lives and ourselves. So I would
absolutely.
so I would love to now jump to, I call this rapid fire, where we kind of,
Rapid fire. Okay,
yeah, I'm going to ask you questions and don't think too much, just whatever comes to mind. This is a fun way
sure.
for our audience to really get a chance to know you. All right, so current book that you're reading.
Current book that I'm reading. Uh, I need to allot more time to reading books.
Mm.
I'm using the Headway app right now to get like the gist of it.
Yeah.
But let's just say let's frame it differently. The next book I'm going to read is Atomic Habits.
Oh my God, great book. I've read it twice. I make sure to read it every year. It's such a great book. You're gonna love it. I actually have
I
the
bet.
book, the hard copy, and the audio version, because you're gonna want to take notes. You're gonna want to highlight
Yeah,
to get both.
I bet. I bet it's been coming back so much over the time. It's just like,
Yes.
fine, yes, yes, I need to read it.
That's when you know something's important. I always say if it
Yes,
comes around my orbit at least 3 times, then I know it's meant for me. It's not just like this floating idea. I'm meant to do something with it. That's awesome. Okay, favorite podcast.
favorite podcast. I would say three podcasts. It's Legendary Marketers, Wake Up Legendary.
Good choice.
Uh, I can't remember. Courtney has one too that I'm on the mastermind, which is really great. And then your podcast, I'm really curious about following more.
Well, thank you. Thank you, my dear. That was not a
You're
paid
welcome. You're
plug, by
welcome.
the way, audience. All right.
Definitely not. I can back that up.
Favorite saying or quote that has really stayed with you?
I would have to go with my own that we
That's
already
fine.
shared, which is keeps coming back a lot, and that is progress, however small, is still progress, and when
Yeah.
that consistently compounds over time. So that's one.
Yeah.
And then another one, if we really want to get to the meat of it, is getting something done beats getting nothing done.
I love that. I would also add to that something else you put into the questionnaire. The longer you wait, the more you're postponing the life you actually want. I
Yes.
read that and it pulled at my heart. So, okay. Oh, I lost my next question. Oh, okay. First teacher. So first teacher in mindset and in personal development.
Wow. Time flies. I will go with the first name that pops up. It's not the first one, but Jim Ron. I just resonate so well with his messaging and how he's framing things. I listen to him a lot.
I love that. What is, okay, so 5 years from now, where do you see your business? What would you like for your business and your impact?
Yes, so excellent question. There's a lot to unpack here. Uh, but at the end of the day, I'm building or I'm building towards my dream. I'm going to give the companies like the structure first, and then what it does after. So in a way, it's a modular empire in the way that it has specialized or not specialized. It has courses and products designed for specific parts, such as the DR method, 8 essential mindset tools to help you get unstuck and start towards like consistently work towards achieving your goals and dreams. And it's modular in such a way where it can be custom tailored towards where you're stuck and your circumstances, and that they flow like into like they fit together. So it's not like this is one box and then this is something else completely different. So it's all interconnect. And I really, the bar I kind of put on these things is that they need to have a positive effect on actually getting you to overcome these things and start progressing towards, yeah, your goals, dreams, and the tasks you want to achieve. That's what I want to specialize in.
I love that. Tobias,
As for
you
the amount of
are,
people to help, let's say there. So for this year, it's because I'm also part of like, okay, goal setting we're coming into now, right? So
yeah.
for this year, I want to help 100 people do this. And of course, in 5 years, I'm probably looking at, I'm just gonna right here, right now, this podcast, I have
Yes,
to
say
pen
it.
and paper. So it's the 29th,
Of March.
2025, 03, 29th March. So in 5 years, I will have helped 5,000 people get unstuck.
Yes.
And I have no idea. And this is like scary big. But here's another thing. This is a great one.
Yeah.
Also by I believe it's Jim Rohn. So I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Set goals not for what they can give you, but but who you need to become in order to achieve it.
Mm, I love that saying.
And
Yes.
that is kind of the biggest gain, right? So
Yeah.
I know that in order for me to achieve this goal, I cannot remain the same as I am now. I need to become something more. I need to grow. I need to expand. I need to be of more
Yes.
value. I need to help more
Yes.
people.
Yes.
And that's what I really want to do. So that, again, help you that you don't have to be stuck in 2 years in utter frustration mode. I don't want that for you.
Yeah. That's so powerful. Oh my gosh, I got chill bumps now. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. This has been documented. We're going to circle back, hopefully before 5 years, but definitely within
Yes.
5 years from now. I have no doubt it's going to be even more than that. Gosh, Tobias, thank you so much for being on with us today and sharing all of this gold, liquid gold. Seriously, you have dropped so many nuggets here, and I'm really excited for your program. I know it's going to do very well, and I'm excited for our guest to check it out, to connect with you online. So let us know how we can do that. Where can we find you online? Drop your website again, and again, this will all be in the show notes as well. But let us know.
Yes. So the easiest way to get a hold of me right now is go to the dermethod.com. So that's Delta Echo Romeo method.com. Of course, that's the how you spell it out loud. So it's
Yeah.
dermethod.com. And I hope because English is my second language, so I hope that's coming across correctly.
You would know it. Your English
Thank
is
you. Thank you.
perfect.
Yes.
And with social
Yes. And
media?
so my social media handle is GrowByLeverage across TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and I'm also on Blue Sky at the moment.
Blue
And
sky. Yes.
as soon as I focus on it, I will be on Facebook as well. I haven't gotten set up yet there. Haven't prioritized it.
Yeah. Is there one you're on more than the other that you prefer?
Oh, I post my content to all platforms.
Yeah.
TikTok seems to be doing the best for me at the moment. But it's more like those are the platform I'm on. I am on them multiple times a day, so it's more to whoever's listening. If whatever you like the most, is it TikTok, is it Instagram, is it YouTube, you will find me on there. GrowByLeverage, and yeah, just drop a comment or reach out to me in the DMs, and yeah, we can connect that way. And you also will get personal contact information at the drmethod.com afterwards. You can reach out to me via phone or email.
Perfect. And where are you located?
I'm located in Sweden, Stockholm.
You are officially my longest, I guess my, how do I say this, my longest distant guest, which is amazing. It's 12. Let's see, it's 12. Actually, it's 1 o'clock here now. And I think it's nine something, probably your time,
Yes, 10
9-ish.
past 9 p.m. Yes,
Yes, that's amazing. I love it. Technology. Okay, most important question
amazing.
of all. When is
Yes,
your book and your podcast coming out?
book and podcast. So actually,
Ah, I knew it.
so it's actually printed out. So this is its current state form for 8 essential mindset tools.
Oh my
It
gosh.
turned out to be 11 pages for it. I will refactor it a little bit and redo it because rather than having two entities, if you will, the DR method and an ebook, I'm folding the ebook into the method because
Genius.
they go hand in hand. Because
Yeah,
as I've been working with coaching clients already and working kind of setting up the DR method, uh, what I realized was the DR method is a way to see things, kind of identifying again what you should stop doing, what you should start doing, and start to repeat doing, but it doesn't quite yet solve the whole I'm stuck somewhere or life got hard, now what? So
right.
as a bonus to this method right now, you will get the ebook, 8 Essential Mindset Tools. These are my go-to tools I use whenever something comes up to overcome being stuck, people pleasing, perfectionism, and so on. And I will be working now through the next weeks and months to make it an integral part of the DR method. So either way, you're going to get these tools
That's awesome.
when you sign up for the DR method. Yes. As
All
for the
right.
podcast,
Yeah.
that's definitely something I'm gearing up towards. It's I've been working a lot with setting up the DR method as a course, and now that I'm launching that, I have some like finishing touches to get it where I want. And once that's done, I can circle back on more content. And tackling the next challenge would be launching a podcast.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, I can't wait to launch that. Invite you there. I would love to pick your brain, return the favor, and yeah, just
Absolutely.
take it from there.
I can totally see your podcast. I mean, even if it's just if it starts off just being based around the DR method, like each episode, each segment is a piece of that, and you just drop in wisdom, you just drop in ideas, and just yeah, just putting it out there and being a resource more than anything, a
Yes,
resource for people who are really feeling lost, who are stuck, and feeling like it's never going to happen, and they just need that one little shift, and you're providing it.
absolutely. And it was coming back to the mastermind where I was able to do that um, live.
Yeah.
It became so incredibly clear to me that we all have various things we are stuck at, and you just never know. You can be just one conversation of getting that one little piece of the puzzle or that perspective. I'm
Yes.
like, you know what? Yes, and be able
Yeah.
to take that next step and kind of overcome those blockers.
Yeah. I got to share this story to the audience. It just came back to me, but you did something at the mastermind that literally, oh my God, was like manifestation in progress. You were talking to my mom and me, and you were like, I'm going to be on that stage. I am going to be speaking on that
Yes,
stage. And I was just like, yeah, you definitely are. Because, like, yes, you will at some point.
yes,
Absolutely. I kid you not. What was it? 2 hours later, 3 hours later,
something
you
like
were
that. I was
you
just
were
blown away.
you were on the stage.
Yeah, I get pulled up. I got some plaque for having gone through the course, and oh, I totally unexpected to me. I had no clue, and then
Yeah,
uh, Mike, okay, okay. So I started speaking, and then I just wait. So I actually did a little bit of a speaking stunt. Just kind of took my accountability coach, which had helped me.
yeah,
Read what I wrote here, because I actually wrote a goal down in my notepad during um, the mastermind that I will speak at the event at some
yeah,
date. And it's like,
yeah.
well, now I already did that. So it's like, okay, so we checked that off, right? Feels good, checking stuff off, excellent. But then I'm like, cool. So now I get to set a bigger goal.
Yep.
And that is that I'm going to teach at the next mastermind.
Yes. I will be there for that. Front row. Just like you were for me.
Love it,
But that
love
was
it. So,
such a good example because it's like, again, I feel like we set these goals and we don't give ourselves the opportunity to be surprised at how it shows up, right? You could have easily been like, oh,
yeah,
that doesn't count. It wasn't this, it wasn't that. But like, no, you said you'd be on that stage and you would be speaking, and you did that. You proved to
yes.
yourself that that could happen, and it did. And you were well received. I mean, people loved you in that room. There was so much love for you and what you brought to that group. It'll be impossible not to have felt that. And it literally, you can check that off your list now. And
Oh, I
now
did
on to something bigger.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's another cool part about it, which is when you're setting goals, because
Yeah.
I I set the goals and I'm like, oh, wow, this happened. Okay, law of attraction, law of mirroring, it just pops out. All right, don't think, just go for it. Of course, in a safe way,
Yeah.
and I'll just ad lib the right hook. Just kind of flowed with it, and like, is that awkward? Not, I don't know. I'm just gonna speak. But here's the thing: my goal was to speak on stage. It
Yeah.
wasn't go on to the stage, have an amazing speech, influence all the audience, like this huge goal coming back to where we started
Right.
in perfect small action. It's like I went up there, I hold the mic, I uttered some word, ka-ding, goal achieved.
This is why you inspire me. That was, in that moment, that was what I needed to experience and see, like, oh my gosh, it really is that simple. You put it out there, you believe it, you know it, and then you release it, and then
Yes,
it comes back.
yes.
I
And
love
that's
it.
I know we're going over time, but since we're on this,
No, we're good.
so that's law of attraction, and for me, law of attraction is, I mean, I get it. I'm driving more towards law of mirroring,
Yeah.
because my observation in life has been that, because law of attraction in a way kind of frames it from I want something, and I manifest and it comes to me. But my observation has been, especially involving people, is that that is an incredibly wasteful thing from the universe and nature to do. Just
Ooh.
as people, experience, and places come your way to help you, or achieve or things, the opposite can also be true, that you were drawn to the people, the place, and the thing to do the same for them.
Mm. Yes. I understand that. I get that. That's good.
And that showed itself many times during the mastermind, where I was able to help people. So in a way, they had manifested that, right?
Yeah.
Law of attraction. But I've also attracted it because I got to really break through. That was my breakthrough moment from the personal side, from the leadership side, seeing that, I hold value, and that value is relevant and helps people. And it did. And that gave me the confirmation that, what, I will step out of it. I will get into coaching. This is my life mission that I am living already with the mastermind, and been working hard at ever since, to make that dream a reality of being able to help you overcome your own limiting beliefs, people pleasing, procrastination, being stuck
Yeah.
from achieving your goals and dreams. And that's my mission in life now, to help you overcome that.
So I feel like this is the perfect segue to asking you, circling back to the core of this podcast, which is coming home to yourself.
Yes.
And I know I asked you in the questionnaire, but tell the audience, do you feel like you are coming home to who you innately are, that you've always been, but maybe
Mm.
it wasn't showing up at some point in your life, and now you're coming back home to that? Or do you still feel like you're on that path now, but
Yes.
not quite
I
there yet?
yes, I will. Excellent question. Love it. I will rewind a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I was invited to speak on the Wake Up Legendary podcast during my accountability program, when I had broken through my own procrastination. It's like my old being stuck, and now I am taking consistent action.
Yeah.
I am progressing, and I'm going after it consistently, and that was what I was speaking about during. It turned out that way. It started in one direction in podcast, and that just I entered flow state, and I, no bars hold, just let it all out there of how I overcome it. And a lot of the principles we talked about today, I also shared then. And I was in the moment. Uh, Chat was going off like crazy. I had hope that I was be able to catch some of that to answer some question, but nope, gonna have to put that aside and be in the moment and share and flow. And
Yeah.
I did that. And afterwards, I read through the comments. Some people even reached out to me directly on Instagram, saying that, be listening to the show for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and by far this was the best episode ever. People reaching out, you really helped me, inspired me. Thank you so much. And that's when I kind of realized that this is kind of the first, like, yeah, I need to go into this path, because ever since my early 20s, I've, I've known that there's this inner longing, there's just something inside, just wanting to get out, to be unleashed into the world, force of good. And also, like, what is my legacy?
Yeah. Mm.
As a young 20-year-old, I'm thinking about what my legacy is going to be, right? So I'm like, where did that come from? I don't know. So coming home for me, it's not so much, I mean, in a way, coming home inside of myself, but it's more like opening up the door and stepping out into your garden and blooming, of spreading the value, spreading the energy, spreading the vibes, being a positive impact into this world. living my purpose, living my mission. That for me is coming home, finding myself, opening up, unleashing. At that, when I was reading through the comments, I don't know how to describe it in words correctly. I felt this deep, inner, radiating, pulsating, positive energy, love, abundance, warmth. And I'm just like, what's going on? But that was like, wow,
Yeah,
let's go with that. Let's go for that. How can this possibly be anything but good and the right direction to walk in?
exactly.
And that's when I really started committing towards this path I'm on right now.
That is beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for asking.
All right, one last question.
Sure.
What do you want to leave the audience with? It can be another golden nugget. I'm sure you have plenty, or it could be just final words.
Mm, two things.
Sure.
The quickest way I have found to, for me, my truth as a person who's been really struggling with people pleasing, perfectionism, procrastination, all these excuses and things. The quickest way I've found to just not today, shed that weight and move forward is to stop feeding it with the energy of your belief.
Mm,
Because the second you stop believing in your own excuses, in your own procrastination, is when they start holding power over you. Your belief is their life force. And of course, it's hard to stop feeding it when you've been doing it for so long. It might be downright scary. But that perspective helped me whenever they come circumstances. Nope, no, not today. Nope, now I got to do something a little bit and not feed my belief into it because it's all in here.
yeah.
And after a while of doing that, and it's hard at first, it can be incredibly hard, but so worth doing. It get easier to just, oh, we're here again, and shove it aside. And sometimes when you start to see it, that's the first thing. When you can start seeing that, okay, so I need to do X, Y, and Z, but I'm not because I am scrolling or whatever. When you can start to see the behavior, you are now back in the driver's seat, and staying in that in a way is now a conscious decision, whereas before it was just you were doing it on autopilot.
Mm,
And that's very frustrating at first because you may be unable to change it. But when you can see it, you can change it. And where there is a will, there is a way. So stop feeding these things with your belief.
mic drop. That was perfect. That was perfect. Tobias, thank you so much for being on the show today. I'm so honored. I'm so appreciative. I would love to have you back on at some point as well, just to see where you are in your progress and your work and just how we can continue to support you as well and help get your message out into the world.
Thank
Thank
you. I really
you.
appreciate it. And thank you for having me on. And I'll be honored to be back on your podcast in the future.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening, for watching. If you're seeing the video version of this, if you have any questions, any comments, anything you want to say directly to Tobias, his information is below in the show notes. If you love this episode, please share it with someone who you know it will resonate with. Like and subscribe as usual, and stay tuned for more of Welcome Home. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Tobias. I will
Thank you,
talk with you
Brandy.
soon.
Have a great one.
You too.